Slovenia is heading to Turin in May with LPS and Disko. Disco spelt Disko. But will it be a KO performance? Let's review Eurovision. Why did I do the gun fingers? Why did I do that?
You have no idea. Anyway,
it's only 3 episodes in, and I'm already lost the plot.
What's the plot?
Like we said, Slovenia is heading to Turin this year with LPS and Disko. Now, I spent the whole day thinking they were called LSP and was going to make a terrible pun about whether they had a USP, but sadly, I realized it didn't work. But anyway, yes, they're sending Disko with a K because they're so cool. And it's definitely a kind of transformation from last year where they sent Anna Soklic with Amen, which didn't even make it to the final. Fairly, in my view, I think it came 13th in the semi-final. It was kind of your standard Eurovision ballad that was sung in English and had kind of probably no memorable features about it. So will they be faring any better this year? Let's have a little listen to Disko. Ko brez mene z drugim stran odhajaš, hočem te, a ti drugemu srce oddajaš, pleševa, ampak to je le v mojih sanjah, ne bo te nazaj. So yes, that was Slovenia's entry from this year. So what do we make of it? James, we'll go to you.
Well, what can I say about Slovenia? Well, this is one of those songs where, you sometimes listening, we sit down, we listen to all the songs and things. It caught me out in a good way. I really liked it because sometimes a song grabs you unexpectedly. This was the one for me, and I love it when that happens. I really like this song. It's really catchy. It's very different. It's got that sort of big band feel, which I love, but it's also got the sort of classy style too of something a little bit fresh, a little bit modern, yet paying tribute to the sort of older style music, which I love. I think it's memorable as well. The audience are going to remember it, the televoters and things will remember it too, I think. Placing will be key for this piece, I think. It'll depend whereabouts it goes in the running order, but it could be I was going to say it could be a winner. I don't think it will be a winner. I think it will place very high, though, however, because I think it's so different to anything else we've got this year. This is something that's fresh. It's something that's, like I said, classic, but modern. And you've got a great mix of performers in that too, which I think will go a long, long way in getting support for them. It's called Disko, and I think, I can see people having a good old boogie to it, and I can see it possibly doing quite well on the night too.
Fair enough. Jack, what are your thoughts?
Well, when you were doing your little intro there, you might have seen my mouth sort of just open wide in horror because I was looking at their Wikipedia page because I haven't done it yet. And 2 things. One, their LPS means last pizza slice. So there's a bit of trivia that you're never going to use again. And 2, the song was written by Zala and Gasper, who represented Slovenia in 2019 with a very, very different song. But that's slightly blown my mind.
The last pizza slice blew my mind more than the fact that 2 people who'd previously sent a song wrote the song.
Well, that blows my mind more because it's so different. Like that was a song, it was like, it was like 2 people who were just slowly going through the process of brain damage had somehow been wheeled out onto the Eurovision stage. I think the brain damage is now complete and they've now produced this because there is a level of someone was kicked in the head by a donkey in the writing of this. It is, I feel like it would be cool if it was a different song. sort of, you know what I mean? There's a sort of just kooky weirdness that was interesting about Iceland last year and the year before. And you can just tell they're trying to do that, but it just comes across a little bit school shooter. You know what I mean? It's like it's the sort of the kids, the lonely kids that you don't really want to piss off because then, you'll be the first target, but you don't want to tell him he's a bad singer because then you'll also be the first target. And then somehow no one ever told him they weren't very
Still
good.
getting done for defamation if they ever see this.
Yeah, if they ever see
he looks
this,
like a school shooter.
if they ever see this, I'm probably the first target. But it's not my fault they look like a school shooter. The whole thing, it's just like this pre-pubescent, just like moths that just linger around and do a song that is just weird. The vocals are just strange as well. They've got this weird effect on their voice. The whole thing is just bizarre. It's really, really bizarre. And I feel a bit uneasy listening to it. I sort of am on the whole time like, ugh. It's like an itch that just won't go away. And I'm not really a fan. So strangely, the song is not that good. Considering Slovenia normally is sort of okay, this really isn't that interesting. It just happens and then it stops happening.
Yeah, for me, I'm also not a fan. I'm probably not going to say that they look like school shooters, but
they do look a bit. It's not all of them. It's particularly the
just
singer.
the lead singer. Okay,
but the lead singer has a slightly sort of starey.
His camera staring is intense. I will.
Yeah, and it's not even like eye fucking. It's just you are my next meal sort of staring. It's I'm now calling him a cannibal, but it's like it's not. No. No.
Yeah, for me, I'll try to be a bit softer with my criticism. It's very dated and not in like a cool retro way, as in just like it's, if you're thinking dated but retro is, your granddad's big shirt, these are like your granddad's old slippers.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. That's what I say. When I said it would be cool if it was a different song, that's what I mean. Because 70s, 80s is going through a bit of a revival at the minute and has been for a few years. Last Dance from Greece last year was cool. The staging wasn't. The song was cool. And it was exactly on the money for retro. This is just cool but sleazy. No, not cool. It was like it's retro but sleazy.
Yes. That makes a lot of sense. I look at it and I'm like, I don't really know what you could do in terms of staging to make it kind of more engaging or interesting, because it's literally just going to be kind of a few guys in suave suits singing a very average kind of swing song that's a bit jazzed up and it's sadly, yes, this is another one that is not for me. But kind of saying that, do we think it's going to get through to the final, and where would we kind of put it? Because obviously it's performing, where's it performing?
Fifth.
It's performing fifth in the first semi-final, so kind of fairly we're into the swing of things by then. So yeah, do we think it's going to make it to the final, and where would we put it personally, Jack?
So personally, I put this certainly very near the bottom. It's my number 34 of the year. Yes, there are 6 songs worse than this. There really are. It's the first real no-hoper, I think, of the semi-final. I really don't see any circumstance where this goes through, because the 17 songs before being performed, and this needs to come in the top 10. And I feel no matter what the combination, there's definitely 7 songs. This is among the 7 worst. There's no situation I can see where this is actually going to go through. So whereas for the 4 previous ones in the semi, Albania, Latvia, Lithuania, and Switzerland, I can sort of make a case for all of them going through. This, it ain't happening. Sorry. See you next year, Slovenia.
Yeah, sorry to say, I am kind of on the same page as Jack. For me, I also can't see a way through to it for the final. It's just kind of, now that Jack mentioned the sleazy thing, that's the thing that mainly sticks with it for me, and I can't even kind of place why. But yeah, it's my number 35, so for me it's kind of nowhere near making it to the final. And yeah, come on, Slovenia, up your game for next time, please. We need something. But yeah, so that's what we thought. If you agree or disagree, let us know in the comments. Please be kind, even though Jack was not kind. And
no, I was not kind. I was just honest. He does look like a school shooter, and he looked like he really does. He's like the cannibal thing. I'll take back. School shooter. No, okay, I'll go with it.
Okay, so yes, if you agree or disagree with us, let us know in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe and click the little bell notification so you know whenever we upload new content, which will be a lot more regularly since we have a lot of episodes to get through before May. But yeah, that's it from this episode. See you again soon.